Thank you for watching NMH at 1, where we take a look at the news making headlines in the land of the brave and beyond, ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports, and economic news. In the news today, Geingob breaks silence on same-sex marriage, mass land grabs at Oshakati, Omaheke wants new fishing quota regime. I am Glenora Shipura, and this is NMH at 1. Getting into our midday news update this morning, Footsteps for Africa officially handed over a refurbished library facility to Eros Primary School valued at 400,000 Namibian dollars. The facility includes 21 brand new computer monitors and an array of pristine children's books. Remember to engage with these stories on our social media platforms throughout the broadcast. Visual news coming up after the break.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Let's take a look at our visual news. This morning saw Namibia Media Holdings inviting leading business executives from various sectors and communities to a breakfast. The aim was to prompt the Namibian business community to take part in a new initiative that will see NMH take a look at their past, which is the pillar on which their future rests. The idea is to profile Namibian businesses and show the world what we have in place. Nangula Wanje, the CEO of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, was present as the keynote speaker, and the event also served the purpose of announcing the winner of the Tourist of the Year competition 2022 to 2023. Let's take a look.
Local businesses, we need to build them, we need to sustain them, and we need to grow them, and we need to build them, sustain them, grow them, and have more. But where do we start now? Maybe we start to celebrate the ones that are here. So there are some. There's a book called Good to Great, and in that book they look at like 100 companies or companies that have survived over 100 years and have gone through many recessions. If there are local businesses here today, they have gone through quite a bit of challenges.
You don't build a business around what you have, you build what you're going to get. And I realized very early that we have a challenge because we keep on engaging those individuals in grade 10, realizing that grade 0 was the problem. And so I'm very proud to be able to be part of that solution today. And I can't stress this enough. Let's make sure that we focus on early childhood development. Now, when you understand that background, you have to ask the question that why did we focus on the past rebooted so much? And that is that I do believe experience is a key part of going forward. I find too far often that we talk too much and do too little. And part of our celebration today is just to show you exactly when I say do, what do does mean. Because I find that too often we PR, and we are good in PR, and that's our job, by the way, that we PR a lot and we forget about the experiences. And that's why we do invite every single business. We're inviting 100 businesses to be part of this journey about the past rebooted, but celebrating the skill sets that you developed over the years, celebrating the reality of where you are right now, but most importantly, where you believe your contribution to the future is.
In our next video, Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, chairperson of the Southern African Development Community of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, said while the political situation in Mozambique and the Democratic Republic of the Congo remains a concern, human trafficking has become another major concern for the region. She made this statement while officially opening the 25th Ordinary Ministerial Committee meeting in Windhoek. The meeting started on Monday and ends today.
Decided to deploy by the 30th September 2023 a South Africa Standby Force Brigade Plus in support of DRC to address the insecurity in that part of the country. Of course, the details of the mission will be finalized in the next few months. Honorable Ministers, the terrorists that had plagued the northern province of the Republic of Mozambique have been largely neutralized, and the livelihoods of internally displaced persons are being revived with the support of the friendly forces and humanitarian support. The SADC, Mozambique, the SAMIM has done its part and has made a great contribution to this achievement. However, in order to consolidate the gains made in the fight against the terrorists in Cabo Delgado, the SADC Organ Tracker Plus virtual meeting of 11th July 2023 recommended to the upcoming SADC Summit in August for SAMIM to be extended for 1 year as from the 16th of July 2023. Honorable Ministers, our meeting will receive an update on many issues that needs our consideration. This includes the trafficking in persons in the region. This phenomenon requires us all to strengthen our legal provisions, enhance our capacity, and raise more awareness on trafficking in persons. Our senior officials have deliberated also on legal instruments establishing the SADC Tourism Univisa, a very important instrument.
Now wrapping up our visual news segment, Minister of Health Kalumbi Shangula this morning launched several new sexually transmitted infection treatment guidelines. The last review of these guidelines was in 2008 to 2009. Shangula said that these guidelines aim to equip healthcare workers to be better prepared when dealing with STIs. He added that these new guidelines were necessitated by the rise in new bacteria and STIs and recognized the social and cultural aspects that attributes to the spread of STIs, saying the government would produce all necessary medication and equipment to aid with this.
I'm pleased to join you here this morning to celebrate a significant milestone in our country's healthcare system. It is my privilege to launch the 10th edition of the National Guidelines for the Management of Sexually Transmitted Infections, a crucial tool that will shape the way we address and combat the challenges we face in preventing and effectively managing sexually transmitted infection in Namibia. I express my sincere gratitude to the United States Agency for International Development as well as Project Hope Namibia for their unwavering support and funding, which supported the review of the 2nd edition and the compilation of the 3rd edition, which we are launching here today. We cherish the partnership we have established with our development cooperation partners, which is testimony to the strength of our collaboration and shared commitment to improving the health and well-being of all the Namibians. The launch we are witnessing today marks a culmination of many months of intense preparation and in-depth work to review and update the sexually transmitted infections management guideline.
following the United Kingdom's decision to slam doors in the face of Namibians seeking asylum. Staggering statistics have emerged. An update on this story follows in the Newspaper Review segment.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Let's take a look at our daily newspapers, starting off with the Namibian Sun's front page that reports that humanitarian challenges and sexual orientation have emerged as key reasons used by Namibians seeking asylum in the United Kingdom, with Namibians now ranking amongst the top 20 globally seeking to relocate to that country. Official data perused by Namibian Sun reveals a striking surge in applications by Namibian asylum seekers, with a staggering increase of 337% between 2017 and March 2023. But the Namibian government is adamant that apart from high unemployment rates, Namibia is generally a safe country to live in where no one is being prosecuted. On page 3, if it were up to them, communities in the Omaheke region would change the fishing quota allocation model. The current model is seen to benefit mostly individuals, and they would trade this for a broad-based model where resources are directly allocated to regional councils. This recommendation is contained in a report prepared following a visit to the Hadab and Omaheke regions by National Council lawmakers in October 2022. Community members also feel such a change will ensure that all Namibians benefit from the country's abundant fisheries resources, which many say have enriched only a handful since independence. On the front page of the Republican, records of elephant poaching in Namibia last year were at their lowest levels since 2016. However, convictions still lag far behind arrests that have been made in poaching cases. According to the Wildlife Protection and Law Enforcement in Namibia report, only 4 elephants were poached in 2022 compared to 2016 when 101 elephants were poached. The following year, poaching incidents started to drop to 50 and 27 elephants were poached in 2018. 13 in 2019, 12 in 2020, and 8 in 2021. Statistics further indicate that last year, 55 elephants tusks were seized, 64 suspects were arrested in connection with elephant poaching, and 8 suspects were convicted. On page 3, the Chamber of Mines of Namibia says public water utility Namwater will have to invest in water infrastructure to support future projects planned in the mining sector. Its CEO, Weston Malengo, said investment in water infrastructure to feed Namibia's water-hungry uranium mines in operation and those planned for the future would increase investor appetite in Namibia's mining sector, he said. According to Malengo, bankable feasibility studies had been completed for Bannerman's Etango project and Deep Yellow's Tumas uranium projects, which are raring to go should uranium prices improve in the near future. Now, the Algemeine Zeitung leads with South African veterinarians attributing the death of 2 more African cheetahs in India to infection by maggot infestation. This was probably triggered by skin injuries caused by radio collars in the monsoon wetness. Since the start of Project Cheetah in India's Kuno National Park in September 2022, 5 of the 20 adult animals brought to India from Namibia and South Africa for reintroduction have already died. On page 3, the Algemeine Zeitung reports a comprehensive 3-day training which 40 participants recently have received on good agricultural and collection practices, equipping them with the knowledge and skills to make Devil's Claw sustainable. The training is conducted by the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism in collaboration with GIZ Biodiversity Economy and aims to promote sustainable income streams and biodiversity conservation in Namibia. We continue with our newspaper review after the break.
To another exciting episode of Top.
Dis die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis julle monster kan byt.
Continuing with the newspaper review, the Namibian reports that the Executive Director of Education, Arts and Culture, Sanet Steenkamp, has disclosed that a total of 37 teachers and pupils took their own lives in 2022. She revealed this on Desert Radio while giving an update on schools' readiness for the new academic term. Steenkamp said the ministry recorded a total of 218 teacher deaths last year, of which 24 were the result of suicide. On page 3, a report compiled by the Trans-Nami Board has stated that retrenchment is inevitable as it places blame on the government for the company's inability to pay its creditors and employees pension along with their medical aid. The company failed to keep up with its water cut for the past 2 weeks, while medical aid and pension fund contributions have not been paid. On Newer Era's front page, President Geingob says marriage in Namibia is between a man and a woman. The president made these remarks during a courtesy call by SWAPO National Council members at the State House yesterday. Geingob has expressed his admiration for the independence of the judiciary and commented the legislative process of the Marriage Amendment Bill recently introduced by SWAPO Member of Parliament Jerry Ekanjo. On page 3, almost 200 people demarcated plots for themselves at the Upinti in Oshakati since Tuesday. The residents who spent Tuesday and Wednesday occupying a piece of flood-prone land told New Era they will soon erect shacks there. Oshakati CEO Timotheus Namwandi emphasized land belongs to the council and residents must wait for the council to deliver service without jeopardizing the process. Market Watch reports that the repo rate differential between Namibia and South Africa is 50 basis points following the South African Reserve Bank's decision to keep its policy rate unchanged at 8.25%. Year-to-date, SARB increased the repo rate by 125 basis points. Fin24 reported that annual consumer price inflation in South Africa slowed dramatically to 5.4% in June from 6.3% in May. Now, the expansion of the Oshakati Airport is planned for $118 million Namibian. More on this story in our economic news on the other side of the break.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with the entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Now let's take a look at our economic news. The Namibia Airports Company says it plans to upgrade facilities at the Oshakati International Airport with a new terminal in the works and the envisaged extension of the apron. The said motion follows a recent annual general meetings held where it was resolved to also extend the airport's very important person facilities at the airport to bring them up to standard. The NAC said that the upgrade at the airport for the projects under consideration are expected to cost the NAC $118 million Namibian, with $100 million Namibian earmarked for the expansion of the apron and construction of a newly planned terminal. The expansion of the apron and construction of the new terminal would be funded by the government over 2 years, according to the NAC. Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.14, against the euro at 20.05, against the US dollar at 18.03. 2 Namibian dollars and 51 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the NSX, all stock remained the same. Overall index went down at 1.36%. Sorry, overall index went up at 1.36%. Gold and platinum went down, with copper and Brent crude oil going up. Brent crude oil trading at 1.29%, going for $80 and 66 cents per barrel. Now, a Chinese man was thrown out of Malawi over racist videos. Stay with NMH at 1 for an update on this story.
Namibians are still safe.
Everywhere else, the Supreme Court said we are not going to rely on foreign judgments.
By all means, we try to not make journalists public figures, but at the end of the day, they are.
Very good evening. My name is Taiwan Jabela, your host.
With their Protestant offsprings.
But the implementation, like she's saying, is another thing.
Getting into our news from Africa, a Chinese national accused of encouraging children in Malawi to chant racist slogans about themselves in Chinese language they do not understand, and then selling the videos on Chinese social networks, has been sentenced and ordered to leave the country. A court judge in the capital, Lilongwe, sentenced 27-year-old Lu Ke to 1 year imprisonment after finding him guilty of recruiting children for racial exploitation. The country's Attorney General Musakau Chamakala said Lu Ke, who was arrested last year, had 7 days to leave Malawi, having already served his 12 months in jail. After the break, we get into your international news stories. Getting into our international news, Amsterdam's council has banned cruise ships from the city center as the Dutch capital tries to limit visitor numbers and curb pollution. Politicians said the vessels were not in line with the city's sustainable ambitions. It means the central cruise terminal on the river IJ near Amsterdam's main train station will close. It is the latest measure to clamp down on mass tourism in the city. Now, cruise ships have become a symbol of the problem, with more than 100 mooring in the capital every year. The council has been trying to scrub up the city, banning cannabis smoking on the streets of the red light districts. In March, the city launched an online campaign urging young British men considering holding their bachelor parties in Amsterdam to stay away. Amsterdam has become a victim of its popularity, attracting 20 million annual visitors, some drawn by its party city reputation. Naruda Kirk recently compared cruise tourists to a type of plague of locusts descending all at once on the city. After the break, we get into your sports news. Do stay with NMH at 1.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the
15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Let's take a look at our local sports news. The para-athletes who competed at the Paralympic Athletics World Championships in Paris, France, arrived back in the country yesterday with 3 silver medals won by Laja Ishitile, Anania Shikongo and Johannes Nambala. The Namibian Ice and Inline Hockey Association sent its 4 SPAR national teams with 41 players to the European Inline Hockey Championships in Charleroi, Belgium. Namibia is the only country outside of Europe that will take part in the competition. The Schoemans Group Windhoek Gymnasium Lions were crowned the Standard Bank NSSR Under-19 Rugby Super League champions last year and will meet 2022's B10 finalist Otterhouse Windhoek Afrikaans Private School at Gymnasiums Field at 5 p.m. later today. After the break, we get into your international sports news. Do stay with us. Now, Nigeria's coach Randy Waldrum believes a penalty save by goalkeeper Chiamaka Ndauzi in their 0-0 Women's World Cup draw with Canada on Friday gave the side the belief they could get at least a point against the Olympic champions. Opening batsman Iman ul Haq hit an unbeaten 50 to steer Pakistan home in the first test against Sri Lanka on Thursday, passing their tricky target of 131 with 4 wickets to spare. Manchester City's Algerian forward Riyad Mahrez has completed a move to Saudi Arabia's Al Ahly, Saudi state-run Al Akbariya TV said earlier today. After the break, we get into the news highlights from today. Do stay with us.
To another exciting episode of Geingob Top. We bring jou
Is die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik kan byt.
If you're just joining us, the highlights from today's broadcast will follow shortly. But first, let's take a look at the Weekend Gig Guide.
Hello NMH at One viewers, my name is Michael Kayunde. Welcome to another edition of the Weekend Gig Guide. This is the segment where I get to let you guys know of some of the events that are taking place in and around the country. To start with, you can catch That Is Chill Sessions tonight on Namibian Sun's Facebook page. That is at 1900 hours. That's the show where I get to take you in and around the country, counting down the trending music videos in the country for the week. You can also catch a repeat of the show that is on NTV, channel 285, on DSTV. That is tomorrow morning, Saturday at 7:30 in the morning. Moving along with other events you can still expect to catch this weekend, you can expect to catch that is Art for the Hearts, taking place at the Village. It's an unplugged session where people perform live music. Tickets are going for $40 at the gate. So if you do appreciate live music, Art for the Heart is the event for you to be at. It's taking place today, Friday at 1900 hours at the Village. Another event you can expect if you do happen to find yourself in Omaruru, please check out that is Ryan Smith performing at Johnny Clash, paying attention and tribute to Johnny Clash, and he is going to be performing at Ruski House actually. Tickets are available at Web Tickets for $40 Namibian at Web Tickets. So if you're in Omaruru, Ryan Smith is in your hometown, please go out there and check him out. Those are some of the events that are taking place today and as well as tomorrow. From me, Michael, until next time, it's goodbye.
That was your Weekend Gig Guide, and with that we've come to the end of our broadcast. From me, Glenora Shipura, until next time.